like to place on record my deep appreciation that all of you distinguished ladies and gentlemen could spare time on a Saturday morning, not the best of time when this part of the world to get people out to connect with politicians. I'm truly grateful that all of you could be here with us and for the opportunity to interact with you, to talk to you, to hear your views and suggestions and take back with me a little bit of India from America. Many of you would have celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi, which concluded yesterday. My greetings to all of you on the auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. We have also been very blessed to be able to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As CG said, all of you did it with a lot of gusto. A great time to remember a lot of good things that have happened in India for 75 years, but an even more important time for us to reflect on where we see India in the next 25 years as we embark on this journey towards prosperity, towards making India a developed nation, taking a better life to 1.3 billion Indians across the country. And I think each one of us in this room would be an equal stakeholder, would be equally involved in the journey over the next 25 years. Because I believe all of us in this room are a section of society who have seen tremendous privileges. Many of you may be first generation entrepreneurs. Some of you may have had 2 or 3 generations of prosperity in your family. But I would not hesitate to say that each one of us here, including me, maybe 1 generation back, 2 generations back, had somebody who left from a village, left from a small town, maybe boarded a train or a bus, came to a city. Some of you came to the United States of America. I hear of stories of people who came with $5 in their pocket, who came as students, didn't know the next meal, where it was going to come from. And each one of us were blessed to be able to achieve so much for our families, for an opportunity to get good quality education, for all the good things that happen in our lives. In some sense, this is the land of films, Hollywood. I come from Mumbai, which is a little bit of a smaller clone, aspiring to be bigger, of course. And there are so many stories, both in English movies or in our own Indian movies, where we have people who dream big, some foolish at times, aspirational, wanting to make it big, and stories woven around that. Many of us have lived such stories. But this is the time, the next 25 years, which as Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji in his 15th August address celebrating 75 years of independence said is going to define where this country goes from here. As the CEO of McKinsey recently said, this is not going to be India's decade, it's going to be India's century. And we have everything going for us. 65% of our population is young. We have the advantages of the demographic dividend. Some people feel population is not necessarily an advantage. We believe that our young population, our boys and girls, the aspirational billion that we have in India, is the world's biggest opportunity. And each one of them today is connected to the world. You have internet through the length and breadth of India. You have 4G mobile, you have broadband internet going into the villages deep into remote parts of India. We've been able to meet the basic needs of almost every home. Those who didn't have a home, providing them with a free home. You would have almost 35 million families who had a temporary house or a kacha ghar, getting a proper home. We have a country which until 8 years ago had half its population deprived of a basic amenity like a toilet. Now with 100% homes having an izzat ghar, a mark of respect to our sisters, to our mothers, to our daughters, who otherwise had to face the ignominy of going into the fields. We now have a country where every single home is assured of adequate food grains so that nobody has to sleep hungry. We've seen millions of homes which didn't have power receive the advantage of power connection for the first time. And now, 24 hours power. We are moving fast into clean energy with nearly 200 gigawatts of our capacity coming from clean energy, renewable sources of energy, aspiring to become the world's largest source of clean energy, 500 gigawatts by 2030. We have political stability, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought to the country, a government that is decisive, a government that is willing to take strong decisions in the interest of a prosperous India, a government that balances public good, social welfare for the needy, for the deprived sections of society, yet empowering 1.3 billion Indians to become better citizens, contribute to economic growth and development. We are proud to be the mother of all democracies. We are proud that we have a vibrant judiciary, a vibrant rule of law, robust media, transparent political systems, government systems. And amongst all of this, if I may venture to suggest, in our lifetime, and I see most of us in this room are brothers and sisters who are going to be there in 2047 when we celebrate India at 100. I can see an economy which will be a powerhouse driving global growth. I can see an economy which is going to be at least on a business as usual case, a $30 trillion economy, possibly as CII has estimated. The Confederation of Indian Industries recently did a very elaborate study working on the foundation that has been prepared over the last few years, assessing the impact of the foundational changes, the structural transformation that has happened in the last few years, preparing India to rapidly grow. CII estimates India at 2047 to be a $35 to $45 trillion economy, taking us into the League of Developed Nations, a prosperous country, a country that cares for every single citizen of the country. And I believe each one of us has a role to play. Prime Minister has often said, it will be the collective effort of each one of us Indians, and he includes the 30 million Indian diaspora in that. जब वो सबके प्रयास की बात करते हैं, भारत में तो सबका प्रयास लगेगा ही, तो मुझे लगता है आप सब भी उतने ही भारतवासी हैं, उतने ही आपके दिल में देश के लिए तमन्ना है, देश के लिए आपका भी दिल उतना ही धड़कता है जितना देश में रहने वालों का है, और हम सबको मिलकर प्रयास करें। और अब तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जिस प्रकार से कर्तव्य की बात को उजागर किया, spoken about duty and brought duty to the center of our very core. I think collectively, if we put in our best foot forward, our efforts, and look upon our efforts as our duty, we can all be partners working together for a prosperous India in the next 25 years. An India that, despite so much turmoil across the world today, is in a way an oasis, an island of stability. An India that still is posting record numbers in terms of growth. An India that's had a record export last year of nearly $670 billion, never seen before, and aspiring to go up to $2 trillion by 2030. An India that's going to be the world's pioneer and leader in clean technologies, green hydrogen, green steel, 500 gigawatts of renewable energy, finding alternates, innovating solutions to address the challenge of climate change. An India that today makes vaccines, 6 different types of vaccines for COVID-19, and has administered 2 billion doses of vaccine to make every Indian safe in the country, free of charge. An India that makes its own battleships and warships, saw the ground recently. And an India that also is equally concerned that we make our own toys now under the Make in India program, effectively giving jobs to millions and millions of our brothers and sisters, encouraging startups, our young innovators, doing R&D, coming out with new ways of working, making life easier for our citizens, making business easier to do in India. It's a collective effort of humongous proportions. It's an effort that's going to attract attention of the world. Every country today wants to expand business with India. We are working on, we've already of course concluded FTAs with UAE and Australia in record time earlier this year. Finalized in the midst of COVID. We are fast progressing on an FTA with the United Kingdom, Canada, European Union, Israel. FTA is also taking shape and we hope to conclude it soon. We have the group of 6 Gulf countries, the Middle Eastern countries, the Gulf Cooperation Council, with whom we recently finalized the terms of reference and very soon may start negotiations on a free trade agreement with all the 6 countries. We have only yesterday concluded the IPEF, the Indo-Pacific Economic Forum. Not exactly a free trade agreement, but certainly a very, very important milestone in this journey where like-minded countries with a common objective to have rules-based international order, transparent economic systems, politically stable and open economies in the Indo-Pacific coming together to expand economic activity amongst each other, and the United States of America and India are going to play a pivotal role in the Indo-Pacific to maintain stability in the region and expand economic activity within the 2 important democracies of the world. Transformational work is happening in India. It has taken us to the 5th spot amongst world economies. The challenge before us now is to speedily progress at least to the 3rd spot amongst world economies and then aspire to be at the top at a time which you and I and all of us have to work for, have to aspire for. And I'm sure, given the amount of work that's happening amount of work that each one of you is doing. As somebody just mentioned, 30,000 containers of 300,000. Coming, well, I'll leave you all to settle the number. But I do know that you do about $500 million worth of imports from India.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And I thank you for this. And I hope that when I come here the next time you would have crossed $1 billion.
We hope so too.
And likewise, I'm looking to see each one of you, of course, working in the United States, contributing to the US in terms of jobs, in terms of economic activity. But I know that each one of you has a little bit of India in the back of your mind. In fact, foremost in your thoughts in terms of giving back to the nation. And it need not necessarily be just social good or public good. It can be economic good, which is good for you, and also can help create more wealth for each one of you. Because the opportunities that lie in India, when every citizen today connected with the internet is seeing what's happening in the world, who wants to participate in this great growth story in the world, who wants all the good things in life, is a potential market for each one of you, is a potential supplier for each one of you, is a potential resource for each one of you. And I have no doubt in my mind that as India today emerges to become the world's trusted partner, as India emerges from the old age of low quality, low cost goods to become a high quality manufacturer of valuable goods and services, given the skill sets and the pool of talent that is available, whether it's in gems and jewelry or textiles or the IT sector or hospitality, each one of these will provide opportunities for all of you. We in India have resolved to become a developed nation when we celebrate 100 years of independence in 2047. I'm sure many of you have seen the Shah Rukh Khan movie where he says, कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज की दिल से चाहत, कोई चीज को हम दिल से चाहें, तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने के लिए कोशिश में लग जाती है। Each one of us desires to see our country as a glorious, prosperous nation. Our collective efforts, our collective goodwill, our collective duty towards the 1.3 billion Indians and towards our own brothers and sisters across the world. There is no way that we will not see a developed nation by 2047. And I invite all of you to be partners, I invite all of you to be stakeholders. There's never been a better time than today to invest in India. There's been no time better than today to work with India, to buy from India, to make in India, to serve from India. And I'm sure each one of you will be a part of this journey as we transform the India story. Many of you would be celebrating Dasara and Diwali, before that Navratri, going forward the New Year and Christmas. There's so many weddings happening in the US. While I wish you great festivities and great enjoyment in each one of these happy occasions going forward, may I make a humble request before I conclude? Can each one of us resolve that all our gifting during marriages, during festivals, and every single opportunity that we will get, if each one of us resolves that our gifting is going to be some khadi product, some handloom product, some handicraft made by an artisan in India, maybe a patola sari or a Kanjivaram sari or a filigree piece of art from Agra or the chicken embroidery of Lucknow or the Kolhapuri chappals that are made in Maharashtra. There are so many and more, and we have now brought them out as a catalogue. We have a program that Prime Minister Modi inspired, one district, one product, because many districts have more than one unique offering. We are cataloguing all of that. It will all be available on e-commerce. You can very easily locate these products, buy them through e-commerce. I've been asking CG also to see if we can have some kind of a interface through which each one of you can get these products in India. Maybe some of you could start bringing those products into the western part of America or across the country. And imagine if each one of the 130 crore Indians and the 3 crore Indian diaspora across the world decides to make this a preferred offering on every happy occasion. Imagine the millions and millions or crores of Indians and Indian families you will be supporting for a better tomorrow. Just a small thought before I leave, wishing you well for Navratri. I hope you have good Dandiya Ras in this region also. You celebrate Dandiya over here? In all the traditional attire? Lovely. I'll miss that. But I wish all of you well. Happy Dasara, Happy Diwali, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and may God bless each one of you.
Thank you so much for your inspiring words. Truly stirred up a sense of nationalism within our minds and hearts. Now, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister is very keen in engaging today's audience. He's keen to hear you out on the queries you may have concerning your trade and investment in India, as well as some of the innovative initiatives by Government of India. I would like to invite Gaurav Bhargavaji to moderate today's Q&A session.
Thank you, Uday. And thank you, Honorable Minister, for food, I don't know, so many industries and so much big portfolio you have, and taking India to 75.0. I think that's a big, India is on a high speed of growth. And all of us present in this room are actually hardcore. We believe in India, we believe in investing in India, and we are all, with any means, we are providing employment in India. Each one of us in this room has contributed to India's growth, and I want to thank all of us here as well. And so, cutting short because of timing, I would like to